Hi, this is Nicholas Bell with Ion Cinema, here to review The Wretched, the sophomore film directed by the Pierce brothers, Brett and Drew. It premiered at the 2019 Fantasia International Film Festival and will be available on digital on demand May 1st, 2020, courtesy of IC Midnight. It begins 35 years ago when a babysitter is mauled by a demon, and then we fast forward to contemporary climes only 5 days ago, and we meet 17-year-old Ben, played by John Paul Howard, who is traveling to live with his father for the summer and working on the marina in the local port town. His parents are separated, he's got a broken arm, he's doing the usual rebellious teen things, and then he realizes that the neighbors next to his father are acting strangely. And it turns out that Abby, the mother next door, has been possessed by a witch that crawled out of a dead deer that she hit with her car and brought home to fillet. There's a lot that's very derivative about The Wretched, and the title doesn't exactly fit it either. To the point where none of the characters or the actors playing them really stand out, and you might kind of forget what's going on right after it's done. That said, it's a very polished looking film, and it had a lot of visual technicians working in the background that made this look great, including Stephen Imhoff, a special effects technician who previously worked on Alien Covenant, and a visual effects supervisor, John Brennick, who worked in the last Terminator, Thor Ragnarok, and the last Avengers film. So the look of the witch is great, it's just that there's no real tone or ambience that suggests who this film is for. Is a PG-13 horror film about witches. It does feel almost like those dark Disney YA films from the 70s and 80s, like Watcher in the Woods, but doesn't quite get there. I do appreciate the gender reversal. Usually these films tend to have a female lead that is the protagonist that we're following. Even Witches in the Woods, which became available on digital on demand last week, is probably even more derivative than this, also favors kind of the female protagonist viewpoint. And to the degree where it's almost like an inverse of the Stepford Wives, with these witches that come in and try to take over this community. But we don't really ever understand why, unless it's just to be in control of expensive lakeshore property. And the characters are so superficially drawn that it almost would have behooved them, because the Pierce brothers also wrote this, to cut down on that and give us a little more exposition on the witches, which are kind of shown to be these Wiccan type things born of nature. I don't know, I was reminded of everything from that Dan Stevens Wicker Man movie, Apostle, to William Friedkin's Neglect of the Guardian, even a little bit of The Hallows, which is an Irish film that had some great special effects over the past few years. But because there's nothing that makes this film stand out, I'd give it 2 out of 5, despite looking better than you might expect. Thank you.
Hey, this is Eric from MyOnCinema.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.